All right, West Virginia fans, all in the family, a family affair, family matters today in the hills of West Virginia. To talk about it with me, I have my good friend, former reporter at the Daily Athenaeum and NJ.com, Amit Batra. Amit, how we doing tonight?
Doing well, man. I had some fun news today, so excited to get into it.
Yeah, for a while, you and me were texting back and forth, and we were getting nervous about, not enough happening around the West Virginia football program. And then last night, we had a few commitments that came in, and then today, some really exciting news. So things are definitely picking up around the transfer portal, especially with West Virginia. Amit, just before we start, how nuts is the transfer portal right now? And just trying to follow this right now.
It's craziness. I feel like I have to look at my phone every 5 minutes to see if something something new came. So yeah, it's madness, but it's also exciting at the same time to see where all these guys are going, and some of it you expect, some of it comes out of nowhere. So, but yeah, it's madness, but it's exciting at the same time.
I know part of me feels like an absent dad sometimes. I have two young boys upstairs, and they were like, "Dad, let's play and let's do this, let's do this." I'm like, hold on, I have to check my social media to see who West Virginia got. It's almost like like getting a gift on Christmas each day, right?
Yeah.
You wake up and you're like, we just got the Hawkins Bros,
Yeah.
or we got Latimer. It's like, look what I got. It's like that's what we get excited for now as adults is 20-year-old kids that commit to your alma mater.
That's it.
Anyway, it was an exciting day for West Virginia. So me and Amit are going to come on here and we'll hop on and we'll talk about the latest news. We'll talk about some highlights, show some stats, and just kind of give our initial thoughts on these guys and where these guys fit in the West Virginia program. Before we do that, if you're a West Virginia fan, please remember to like and subscribe to Jersey Ear. Just want to say this before we start. I really, really appreciate all the support that has recently been pouring into Jersey Ear. The channel over the last week has grown like crazy, mainly because of the transfer portal and the news, and you guys are thirsty for news, so I appreciate it. But I also want to give a quick thank you to Kuz Walker today. He gave me a really nice endorsement on his show, which means a lot. You guys know Kuz, obviously, if you follow West Virginia, and he's one of the best in the business. And I really appreciate what he said today about Jersey Ears. So if you're coming because of Kuz and stuff, I really appreciate that. So obviously check out his show. Amit, any last things before we get started?
Yeah, no, I mean it's been exciting couple of weeks. Obviously, you're pumping out the content and putting all these great videos together. So kudos to you. I'm sure, and I know it gets a lot sometimes. I'm sure it's very tiring as well. But it's exciting, and we really appreciate all the support that we're getting.
Nate Brooks said, who's been here a while now, Latimer is a P4 starter, and so far the guy I'm most excited about. Too bad he doesn't play O-line, LOL. Yeah, I think I'm excited about Latimer. We're going to talk about him tonight, obviously. And, I think the offensive line is going to come together. They've had a bunch of guys on campus. It's just about finding the right ones. I know there was a Jack State kid that committed to Boston College who we didn't get, so that was a little disappointing, but there's 9,000 guys in the portal or something crazy like that. So there's definitely other options there. Drumwolf said, let's go Mountaineers. Drumwolf, how are you this evening? Shout out to you as well. So let's go Mountaineers indeed. All right, let's get into this show. So let's start off Met with the news that broke tonight, and this was no surprise, and that is Maliek Hawkins Jr., the Oklahoma quarterback, is going to make his way to Morgantown. Amit, just looking at his stats, right? Played a lot as a freshman, 76 for 120, 783 yards, 3 touchdowns, and 2 picks. Was sacked 15 times. And then last year, redshirted, only threw the ball 27 times. It was a perfect 3-0 on the season touchdown interception ratio. Just your initial thoughts on the get for the West Virginia Mountaineers with this one.
Yeah, I mean, I think it was a good get. I mean, I like his obviously what I've seen of him from clips and everything. Obviously, the Auburn run, I think that was one that stands out where he just breaks, open for the touchdown there. So obviously has some experience, SEC experience. So we'll see how he does. But I mean, I think he's athletic, and I think he's going to fit Rich Rod's system pretty well.
Absolutely. And Drumwolf said Pat White 2.0. I think it'd be unfair to put those expectations on him. I know on Kuz's show, he had a guy from Oklahoma, Locked On Oklahoma, and he was talking about possibly putting up Pat White numbers. So they think highly of this kid. So I'm excited. Anytime we see new highlights, and we're going to show his highlights in a second, it's definitely exciting. So I definitely appreciate that. And WVU Scoop, who I talked to a little bit last night on social media, said Koo is the OG in this era. Yeah, Koo's definitely is. So like I said, I appreciate Koo's. And then Coop's in here too. He says, let's go. So yeah, everyone's in here tonight, man. Let's go. Let's go Mountaineers. Let's talk some football. Amit, you want to watch for one more time since he committed today some Michael Hawkins Jr. highlights?
Absolutely.
Let's do it. Right here. So you got that read option play. We showed these the other night, but we'll show them again since he committed. I just, watching him in this offense, I like the possibilities of what he can do in the Rich Rod offense.
Yeah.
And then again, here you see play action fake. And he's going to split the defense here. Look at this. Boom. Just going to try to put the nose in there and give everything he has to get the touchdown, which the fans are going to love. That roll right play, Amit, reminds me of what Scotty does a lot, rolling right,
Looks exactly like him.
And then again, here going to drop back. Look at his ability to buy time. He's flipped over. He's going to put himself in the line. Everyone saw this run here. Yep. Splits the Auburn defense. He's off to the races. He's going to go untouched. I think that's where people get excited about the Pat White there, Amit.
Yeah, you see the flashes. I love his athleticism. I mean, he seems like a tough kid. He runs hard, and you just love the athleticism.
Yeah, if we could just block for this guy, I mean, it's going to be an exciting thing to watch. This is a
nice
beautiful ball. Beautiful ball that he threw here. And again, this is his true freshman season versus Auburn in the SEC, and he led Oklahoma to a win that day, Mitt.
Wow, he puts his body on the line.
If he's doing these plays in Morgantown, Milan Postcar Stadium is going to go absolutely nuts.
Yeah.
When this occurs. Drumwolf said, "Rumble and tumble, and let's go." Yeah, it's exciting, man. Like I said, this is like Christmas Day when we get new recruits each day. Read option again. Rich Rod can call those design runs with him, so we're pretty giddy right now. I had to speed this play up a bit because he goes, all over the field. Again, just his ability to buy time, and it's just going to be fun. It would have been interesting to see what Garrett Green did in this offense too. Just watching these highlights.
Absolutely.
But again, just can buy some time and evade defenders.
Guys miss, yeah.
He'll be pretty fun to play with on NCAA football too. He'll be fun to do that. So yeah, that's his highlights. Let's take a deeper dive into Michael Hawkins Jr. So Amit, up top is the 2024 season, his true freshman season. You can see he got a lot of playing time. You can see the stat line. Start off versus Temple, 2 for 4. Played a lot versus Tennessee in a loss, was 11 for 18 with a touchdown, so took care of the ball and rushed for 12 times. Auburn is where he got the win, 27-21, 10 for 15, 161 yards. And then he rushed the ball for 69 yards, and you saw that long touchdown run of 48 yards. Got some valuable experience versus Texas, 19 for 30. And then played a little bit towards the end of the season versus South Carolina, Maine, and Navy. And then last year, actually only plays in 2 games, plays a little bit versus Temple, doesn't do too much. And then Kent State gets the stats up with mainly what you see. So, Amit, just any thoughts on his overall stat line between his freshman and redshirt freshman season?
Yeah, I mean, it seems like, obviously outside of the South Carolina game, really didn't turn the ball over as far as interception, which is good. I mean, I think, we're going to find out more as we see him, more and more. But I think, he has a great ability to, obviously, as we saw, to run the ball, which is great. And then just watching him, he just seems like a Rich Rod style quarterback, which is, you just see the flashes of like Pat White. I'm not going to compare him to him yet or anything like that. But you see the flashes of his playing style.
Coop said Lamar and Pat White mixed. So yeah, because that would be amazing. I think if that was the case, his NIL package would be crazy. If he becomes Lamar and Pat White mixed, I think we'll have a tough time.
That deep ball looked like Lamar. That deep ball, sure, it looked like Yeah,
he's a talented player. I believe his dad actually played in the NFL. So Amit, let the debate begin, or what?
I think so. I think it's good, as we kind of talked about the other week. It's good to have some competition. Obviously, with Rich Rod, you're going to have to earn everything that you get, right? You're going to have to earn your playing time. So I think it's going to be a great, it's a great thing for both guys to have some competition in there. And we'll see, who gets the starting nod. It's too early to say, but I think it's going to be a fun competition for sure.
How many questions do you think Rich Rod's going to get in the
Oh
off
man,
season about this quarterback competition?
probably gonna be a weekly question.
He's probably like, well, I think we got 5 that we can win with here in
Yeah.
West Virginia. We got 5 guys that we believe we can win with. He probably said that a million times last year. He said a couple things last year early on in the season. He has 5 quarterbacks that he can win with, and he's a better coach than he was yesterday, last month, last second ago. He kept saying that. So I appreciate his press conferences, though. They've been really fun. So this is good as a content creator. I know this. We'll have plenty to talk about this weekend. I truly do think it's going to be a close competition, though. I don't think – obviously we're enamored by Hawkins' highlights, but then again, if you threw Scotty Fox's highlights in there too, don't forget that he threw for 300 yards himself his true freshman year versus some good competition too. Yeah. And he's a little bit mobile too. So this one should really be fun, and this should elevate both players.
Yeah, totally.
So, let's talk about the other Hawkins that committed, because there was 2, and this is Maliek Hawkins. He was a freshman this year, 6'1", 175, from Allen, Texas, so a huge area in Texas. And he also was a package deal today for the West Virginia Mountaineers, committed. He's ranked the number 62 cornerback. I believe that is – I'm not sure if that's on 3 or 24/7. I believe it's on 3. So they have him at 62nd cornerback. And then – out of high school, look at the schools that gave him offers amid SEC heavy: Oklahoma, Arkansas, Indiana, Mississippi State, and Texas. So the fact that all those schools offered him, and he's still pretty highly touted in the transfer portal right now for the guy that didn't play much, says a lot about him, doesn't it?
Yeah, no, absolutely. I mean, the offer list is impressive. I think he only played a handful of games at Oklahoma this year, if I'm not mistaken, maybe like 2 games or something like that. But yeah, the offer list is impressive, and obviously, him having his brother alongside him will be nice. Obviously, I imagine there were going to be a package deal, so it's nice to get both of them.
Drumwolf said, need to go get some running backs. We're going to talk about some running backs up here, guys. So be patient, because we're definitely going to get there. And he said, need the freshman at Kentucky. Yeah, so we'll talk about all that stuff coming up. Let's talk about this one, Jir Latimer. Speaking of family and all in the family, Jir Latimer commits today. His brother Amari Latimer was the running back that's a 4-star that flipped from Wisconsin to West Virginia on signing day. There was no surprise on this one. I actually was hoping this one would have happened a little bit sooner. So Jir Latimer, background you can see here, played at Jack State for Rich Rodriguez and Zach Alley in 2023. Zach Alley was at Oklahoma in 2024, but Latimer still played at Jack State, and that was his best season, was in 2024. 46 total tackles, 5 pass deflections, and 3 interceptions that year. So by far his best season. Played a lot of snaps last year at Wisconsin as their nickel cornerback, and did some decent things. So now you take his experience in Zach Alley's defense and the fact that he's played in the Big Ten. This is a really good start to revitalizing your defensive back room, wouldn't you say?
I really like this get. I mean, I think, we've kind of mentioned it numerous times how we need to get better at the secondary, from what we saw this past season. I think this is one step towards that. I mean, obviously he has some good experience playing at the Power 4 level, and then also having familiarity with, Rich Rod and the coaching staff, which is huge. And then, I kind of saw it coming after his little brother flipped from Wisconsin to West Virginia. So kind of saw this one coming as well.
Yeah, and I think fans got to be reminded, his stats aren't that great at Wisconsin, but remember the name, Beanie Bishop. Very similar story. Beanie Bishop was at Western Kentucky and then goes to Minnesota, is a nickel corner at Minnesota on like third down situations, comes to West Virginia for a more expanded role, ends up being an All-American and gets picked up by the Pittsburgh Steelers and had a good rookie season. So not that he is Beanie Bishop, and that's a lot of pressure to put on him, but that's a type of get this could potentially be for West Virginia, right? A guy that was a Group of 5 player, leveled up, and then comes back to the Big 12 now. I think there's a lot of upside here, and I just love the way that this guy plays. Unfortunately, I don't have highlights of this one, but if you go on his Instagram reel, you can see the type of passion he plays with, and with that hard edge mentality, he's going to smack you in the mouth. So very excited. My next question to you before we move on is, which Latimer has a bigger impact on the team this year? Is it going to be Amari Latimer or Jir Latimer?
Man, I would say Jir. I think he'll probably just get more playing time. I don't know. We'll see how the running back room kind of looks, but I mean, as of right now, I'll probably go with Jameer.
What's it called? Your boy Coop said Amari is going to
Yeah.
be better. What's it called? W Scoop said really excited about Maliek. Yeah, me too. I'm excited about him as well. Didn't talk about him too much earlier. I forgot to mention this, but I think there's a big opportunity for him to really take the next step and get a lot more playing time at West Virginia. You don't get recruited by Oklahoma on accident, and you don't get offered by those schools on accident. So the fact that he fell to us with his brothers extremely important. So I think both these brothers could have a huge impact. The question is, can they have like an impact, these brothers, like the White brothers did? Remember Kevin White and his brothers from played all the Whites, man. Kevin White, Karan White, and Kaiser White. All stud players for West Virginia, all similar stories, all went to Lackawanna Community College, and were all absolute studs. So that'd be a fun episode to do one day, is just going through like the different families that have come through West Virginia. I mean, you talk about the Stills and the Whites, and there's some really great ones, you know. So yeah, I'm excited about this one. This should be fun. All right, let's get to some visits, because there's a lot of guys that have been linked to West Virginia through visits, and now we'll get to a couple highlights here. And first guy I want to talk about is Tyler Stoolski. All right. And speaking of Minnesota and Beanie Bishop, that's exactly where this guy started his career. So on the opposite end. So now he started his career at Minnesota, had 26 tackles as a true freshman, which is pretty impressive in the Big Ten. 2024 saw a little bit smaller of numbers, only had 7 total tackles. But look what he did at FAU this past year in 2025. 86 total tackles, 2 pass deflections, 1 sack, and 1 mean club on that hand of his. I'm going to show you his highlights, and then I'll let you give me kind of your what you think of this guy.
Yeah.
And this comes off of his Twitter page. Look at that club, man. There's going to be fans with like a club in Morgantown.
That'll be fun.
They might have a few beverages though in that club. Yeah. So again, this is like his highlights. Not really much to break down here because they're all close-ups and things like that. But, you know, I like just to see the player. I think one thing the guys are going to have to get used to is I just saw palm trees in the back there where he plays in Boca Raton, Florida. He's going to have to get used to the Morgantown weather because it looks a lot different than the palm trees that you see over there.
Just a tad bit colder.
Yeah. Remember those memes that you would see about getting players to Morgantown, and they'd be like, it'd be Milan Postcar Stadium, and in the background it'd be like Florida. People would like crop it, like, oh, look at the beautiful weather we have here.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, this guy looks like he plays whistle to whistle and is a physical player.
Physical guy, yeah, he's active for sure.
I think that's like just like the vibe I'm getting from most of the people that I've seen and the guys that we're trying to get is like guys that can play the run and just smack you in the mouth. Like, we might not be the most talented team, but we might have a team of like gritty dogs out there,
guys, that
are going to smack you in the mouth, which I think West Virginia fans, I mean, just get us back to a bowl game next year and play hard and get this thing on the right track. And, you know, that'll be a step in the right direction for sure.
I like how he swarms to the ball, man. He's physical guy, active. That's what you like to see.
Coop saying Kenny Minchie to Kentucky. Yeah, if you guys have any breaking news as this show goes on, if any commitments happen at West Virginia especially, drop a comment because I'm not checking my phone right now. We're enjoying Tyler Stoolski's highlights. It also makes you appreciate when you see their games and there's no fans in the crowd. It's like, you're going to love Morgantown if we get a packed environment.
Yeah.
Can't see the pass coverage here. Yeah, FAU plays some pretty tough competition too. You know, talking about Navy and some of the other teams that we saw. So, Amit, just overall thoughts based on his stats and what you saw in film about Tyler Stolsky. He was on a visit today at West Virginia. As you can see, West Virginia today, January 5th.
Yeah, no, I mean, I love the mitt. And then, you know, I think he's extremely active. I mean, from what, you know, we just saw, he's physical. Obviously, you know, he's had probably the best season thus far at FAU. So I think, you know, if you can get a guy that can just build on that and, you know, get to, you know, help us on the, you know, as a linebacker here, I think it'll be a tremendous get.
Yeah, you know, some of these guys are going to have big shoes to fill with Chase Wilson leaving too.
Yeah.
I really appreciated Chase Wilson and Reed Carrico. So they have some big shoes to fill in this room. It doesn't surprise me that he doesn't have any interceptions in his career based on the mitt that is on his hand. No, I'm excited for this guy. Like I said, I wonder what will happen with him. He's ranked the 70th linebacker according to 24/7 Sports. There. All right, let's talk about the next guy, man. We're excited to talk about this guy because this show is called Jersey Ear after all. Oh, by the way, he said this guy said great linebacker game.
Yeah, for sure.
It is. It is. Maybe people in Morgantown can beat him for Halloween next year too. That'd be kind of cool. All right, let's get back on topic here. So this guy is Joel Cordova, and the cool thing about this Amit is he is from where?
Plainfield, New Jersey, the good old 908. So not too far from where I kind of grew up. So not far at all. So Central Jersey guy for sure.
Yeah, so I think it's pretty cool because me and Amit have the same area code, New Jersey, which is 908. And I was looking at this guy's pictures today to put up some graphics, and I noticed on the bumper it said 908. So I was like, oh, 908, because we don't have many Jersey guys on the team. We have Rhett Morris and Ryan Ward, and I think that's it. I think we have 2 Jersey guys, so it's definitely would be cooler to get back into the New Jersey pipeline. So I'm excited for this kid just based on those reasons. This is out of high school, so this is as a prospect, not the transfer stats. But in high school, he was the 49th best player in New Jersey, had an 84 grade, and then just played a lot of football this year at Kent State. 68 total tackles, 34 solos, 1 pass deflection. So again, another guy that can be physical, probably in the run game. I think my best guess is he played a lot as a freshman. This might be one of the players that Rich Rod might try to mold if they can get him committed.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I think a good guy to develop, and looks like he has some pretty good size, at 6'2". So, I love the Jersey guys. We always talk about, wanting to get more and more of them. So I'll be pumped if we get this guy.
Yeah, especially if you get a Latimer. We have Latimer now. We have Hawkins now. The two brothers in the secondary now. So it might take the pressure off to have to play some of these guys that do have to commit right away. Now, you never know with injuries, what could happen. But I think I'm excited just because, again, this guy's a Jersey guy. So we'll have to see what happens with this guy from Plainfield, New Jersey, Joel Cordova. All right, next topic, Sutton Smith. So this one's going to sting a little bit because I was super excited because for 2 reasons. Me and my buddies were bored, and we actually decided to start an NCAA football league on the PlayStation. And our rule was you could only pick 5 teams. So in the draft, I ended up getting Memphis, and I've been playing with this guy a lot, and he's my leading receiver and my leading running back. So when I saw that he had West Virginia in his top 3 today, I was ecstatic. I got his highlights together, and I loved his highlight tape, like so much so that I loved his highlight tape more than anyone I've watched so far this transfer portal guys that we've been looking at. Unfortunately, the bubble burst, though. An hour later, he committed to Arkansas. So Sutton Smith, unfortunately, will not be coming to Morgantown. But let's talk about this. And this was the hot news and the hot rumor that was circulating around West Virginia X-Land today. And that was that Cam Cook was on a visit. I put question mark there. Okay. Because I didn't see anything official from his agent. I didn't see anything leaked from like the big mouthpieces that Cam Cook was officially on a visit. There was some West Virginia like burner accounts and people and fans on Twitter that were saying that he was on campus. I might have saw something of a transfer portal tracker that said he was on campus, but again, not really sure what the case is there. So I don't want to tell fans something that he was on campus and visited because I don't know that to be true. But let's talk about this guy just in case he was. So Jack State, obviously. Now you might think Jack State, no brainer, Rich Rodriguez, right? But he played at Jack State in 2025. Rich Rod wasn't there. But Rick Trickett was there, who was the offensive line coach. So he played at TCU the first few years, did 16 carries for 58 yards that first year. In 2024, 119 carries, 490 yards there. But then last year at Jack State, Amit just went off with that Rick Trickett offensive line in front of him. 1,600 yards, 16 touchdowns. Amit, I'm going to show his highlights real quick, and then I'll let you kind of put your 2 cents on here. He's the 18th ranked running back in the transfer portal class right now, according to 24/7 Sports. So let's watch his highlights, and then you can give me your breakdown on Cam Cook and what your thoughts are on him. Gotta love this. I've been watching a lot of Jack State football. So this is actually against UCF right here, who we played this year. Really close game when they played week 1. Or I was actually week 0, I think. And I think, Amit, the biggest thing I see with him is that he has an ability to fill through holes,
Yeah.
and he does not go down easily.
Yeah. He's breaking some tackles.
Where the number 4 kind of give me the Letty
Brown. Yeah.
Letty Brown vibes, the number 4.
Yeah.
Or was it Kennedy McCoy was number 4? No, Kennedy McCoy was 6, I think. Letty was 4.
Letty was 4, yeah.
Yeah, but I'm like starting to picture this, man. Hawkins or Scotty Fox read option with this play. This guy could be and Rick Trickett running this offensive line here. Get off me. Get off me.
I love his ability to break tackles, man.
And that's what you're going to need, man. You're going to need guys to break tackles and keep plays going.
Yeah. Ooh, shifty.
And I think the biggest thing is, we get so hung up on like losing guys like Jaheim White and Sincere Bowers, but then you like get reminded when you watch guys highlights like this, like, man, there's so many talented players out there, and you just got to try to land one of these guys. West Virginia desperately needs a running back, a veteran in this room to kind of stabilize that group. But if we were somehow able to get this guy, that'd be exciting. I know he had visits already officially at like Houston, and like I said, I'm taking everything with a grain of salt because I didn't see it officially today. But man, if West Virginia somehow can get their hands on this guy, I think it would be a game changer for the class.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, from what I see, I just love his ability to break tackles. I mean, he's shifty, and 16 touchdowns, 1,600 yards. I think he had 5.5 yards from what I saw per carry. I mean, that's awesome. So, yeah, I think this would be electric. I think he would fit in Rich Rod's system, perfectly, honestly, the way he looks. I mean, he just seems like a natural fit. So let's hope we get him.
So one thing, I said this on Twitter the other day, and Drummel said he a baller. Absolutely, Drummel. He is a baller. Would love to have him. I have a lot of respect for just like Jack State, man. Jack State over the last few years, like let's tip the cap to them. Yeah. Between Fred Perry, I hate to say it, Cam Vaughn was a good player. Cam Cook. There's another guy, Reginald Hughes, who's in the portal right now, who's a talented player that I hope that we can get our hands on if he's available too. For a team that wasn't even Division I as of a few years ago, some of the talent that they've had come through this little town in Jacksonville, Alabama is just super impressive. So tip the cap to them. But yeah, I mean, I like I said, I'm looking at this one. I know a lot of people are, and I think a lot of people would be disappointed if we didn't get him. Like I said, don't get your hopes up though, because he has taken visits officially to Houston and other places. But let's see what happens here.
And I mean, I think to your point, there's so much talent everywhere that people just don't know about, right? I mean, there's just a lot of guys into programs. I mean, look at Trinidad James from Ole Miss. You know what I mean? Like, there's just a lot of guys that people really don't know about them and where they went to school and all that. But then they emerge, and you just never know, right? I mean, sometimes you just get one of those guys who just breaks out.
I want to give a quick shout out to Big Dan T. Big Dan T, I really appreciate you. You were my first super chat I've ever had, so $20. So I was excited when I hit 500 subscribers. I was excited that I could possibly finally make a little bit of money. So the fact that you're the first guy, you'll always be first. So I really appreciate you giving me a super chat. I really am humbled by that. I work hard. I have a family, 2 kids, and I'm a teacher. So the fact that you just did that means a lot to me. So Big Dan T, shout out to you, man. I really do appreciate that. Kenny Evans said the wrong from California has great height. Hope he can be Bryce Ford Wheaton receiver. Yeah, so we'll take Bryce Ford Wheaton size. I know I'm excited about the guy that committed last night from Boise State and USC. That kid definitely is a big force at 6'5". So
any word on that Moss kid? Has he made any?
Yeah, Christian Moss. I know he's supposed to visit soon. You're talking about the receiver from Kenesha State. He was ranked a little bit ahead of Cam Vaughn in the 24/7 rankings. Haven't heard anything there yet, but I would be excited about him. I think he's 6'4", 6'3".
Yeah,
he was pretty lengthy, and he could do a lot of different things. So we might just be. I think one thing Rich Rod wasn't happy about this year was 2 things: size and speed, obviously. And I think that's what I'm seeing here is he is trying to get size and speed on this this roster here. So, all right, let's talk about this on the move a minute. So let's talk about some former players that are on the move for West Virginia. So let's start with Xavier Bosley. Xavier Bosley, Amit, is a guy that came over from Jacksonville State. The first year, like with Neil Brown, I think the first year, but came over with Neil Brown, played for Rich Rod the first year, was a freshman All-American, decides to level up and go home to West Virginia where he's from, and just never really sees the field. So you would think Rich Rodriguez comes back to Morgantown. Hey, this guy would be a great fit for an offensive line that's struggling. Not the case. Couldn't see the field at the Power 4 level. He's going down to Marshall. And then Amit, we talked about this a little bit the other night. Him and Russell took a visit to Kansas. Now he's heading to the Big Ten, going to Wisconsin now. Amit, is it safe to say I'd much rather see him and Russell go to Wisconsin than Kansas?
Yeah, I was watching, you last night. I know you mentioned, you hate seeing guys go to the Big 12, other teams in the Big 12. And I agree. it's not ideal to see that. So, yeah, I'd much rather see him go to Wisconsin than Kansas.
Yeah, absolutely. And then speaking of that, Israel Boyce today makes it official, and he goes to USF. Happy for Israel Boyce. I think he made some really good plays on special teams. It was kind of weird this year. He was listed as a starter in the beginning of the year, but never really saw the field too much after that. A little bit towards the end. He's a solid player. I knew he would end up still at Division I. I think USF is a really good spot for him.
Yeah, maybe, a little less pressure than the Big 12. So, yeah, I mean, we talked about him for sure, throughout the season, or at least the early part of the season. So, wish him the best, and, hope he does well over there.
Yeah, and then Brian Hartline's going to be his coach. That should be pretty fun. Yeah. I think they're currently building a new stadium down there in USF. I'm not sure when that's going to get completed, but USF has done some exciting things. And I know they were a pain in the side of West Virginia for a long time, and they haven't been a football program very long. So
I always remember the Stedman Bailey catch when I think about USF. Remember that diving catch?
Yeah. So I'm looking at the poster right now. That was my first year there, 2011. West Virginia had to win like 3 games in a row, and they beat Cincinnati on the road, and then they beat Pitt at home in the backyard brawl, and then Tavon had a kick return touchdown in that game, and then Stedman Bailey made this miraculous catch, and then we went into field goal range and kicked the game-winning field goal, and that clinched the Orange Bowl.
Clinched the Orange Bowl, I was going to say.
Clinched the Orange Bowl bid, and then we beat Clemson. So, good times, man.
Good times.
Before the transfer portal, before all the Big 12. Good times. All right, let's talk about some basketball here real quick before we get out of here. We got another super chat. Again, I'm trying to read the name real quick. Lifted Diesel. I'll make that a second. Go. I can't read it right now.
Go get your kids some ice cream.
Oh, they'll be excited. How many ice cream cones you can buy with that? Yeah, that'd be awesome. Listen again, guys. I really appreciate the super chats. I can't say enough how much I do appreciate that stuff. I've gotten a lot of good feedback on the show recently, so I'm very humbled by you guys and the support I've gotten from you guys. That's why I do the show, is because I love West Virginia fans. I'm a West Virginia alumni from Jersey, and just super proud to be a West Virginia fan and an alumni. So thank you guys. I really do appreciate it. He also said, everyone like and subscribe to the channel. Yeah, appreciate it. The faster that we can get to 1,000, the better. Then I really get paid for that. He just said Redwood also USF. I did not know that. Amit, did you see that today?
No, I didn't see that. Wow,
Sonny Redwood to the USF. I can root for those guys as long as they're not playing us. As long as they're not playing us, good luck.
Go get yours. Yeah, absolutely.
Go get yours, especially now. Like, maybe a couple of years ago, I wouldn't have felt that way. I would have been like, kick rocks. You're not a Mountaineer. Get out of here. But
the nature of where we are, right? So it's like, it's just, you can't really do anything about it.
Well, I think too, as like a West Virginia fan, I think we've always had like a bad taste in our mouth, because I think we were the first team to get really gutted by the portal. Truthfully, when you said I felt like every day we were losing Tyke Smith,
right,
and Hakeem Mesidor, and even before
big time playmakers for us, yeah.
Neil Brown, before he even got there, lost like Marcus Sims and Kenny Robinson. Like they weren't even like they, for whatever reason, like they left. Like it just always felt like we were getting dismantled, and now everyone's getting dismantled. And it's like, all right, this is part of it, and we can replace those guys now. All right, let's talk some hoops real quick. So there was supposed to be a reunion tomorrow in Morgantown with everyone's favorite Kirk Creesa, who's played at like 7 different schools now, and then Sincere Harris. They're going to take on the West Virginia Mountaineers tomorrow. I was a little disappointed to see this. It says that Kirk Creesa is going to be doubtful for tomorrow's game.
Yeah, I mean, I watched Cincinnati play Houston the other day, and he only played like 7 minutes or something like that. So I wasn't sure if he was injured or whatever. But, yeah, I mean, I think it's going to be a fun game. I mean, Sincere Harris, I thought he was a great defensive player. I mean, offensively, he's up and down at times. But, I think it's I think this is actually a very winnable game for West Virginia at home, and there's going to be opportunity to get your first Big 12 win here, being that you have Kansas and Houston after that. So I think it's a I don't want to say must win, but it's pretty close to that.
Yeah. And then the good news is for West Virginia, it looks like Brennan Laurier is questionable. So
Yeah.
questionable is better than out or doubtful. So hopefully we can get him what he needs to get going, because God knows we need him. Like, we truly, like, Laurier is such a big piece, especially because he's a North Texas guy. And there's a trust in running Ross Hodge's game plan and scheme with Laurier in there. So hopefully he can play. So let's look at the two teams real quick, Amit, just by schedule, and then we'll get out of here. A lot of common opponents I noticed right off the bat. Yep. So they lost to Xavier by 5, 79-74. We played Xavier a few days before that and lost 76-68. That was a game where Xavier just would not miss a 3-point.
Yeah, lights out.
Well, they also played Clemson and lost by 3, and we lost to 3 by Clemson. And man, that Clemson game really. Two games that bother me this year are Clemson and Ohio State. We should have closed those games out. And I think the narrative around the basketball program would be a lot different if we win those Clemson and Ohio State games.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, both of those games, I think Clemson is definitely quad 1. Ohio State's quad 1 or quad 2. But it would be, two really quality wins in the non-conference. And then, instead of 4 losses going to Big 12 play, you're at 2, right? So, it would have made a huge difference for sure. It was just, closing them out. But I think, Cincinnati's kind of an interesting team. They're up and down. I mean, Louisville, they were the 6th, ranked team in the country when they played them. And Georgia, I believe, only has a loss or 2. But then, they lost to Eastern Michigan as well by 8. So that's telling something as well. So I think, like we said, I think it's a very winnable game. And hopefully, West Virginia can pull it out.
Big Dan T with another one. This guy is Big Dan T, man. I owe you, man. He said, just as Kuz said earlier, I love the grind. You're doing very well. Hey, man, I really appreciate it. And I again, the fact that you're appreciating the grind means a lot. So thank you so much, guys. I really do appreciate it. And he said, I was thinking it was Kuz that said support him. I couldn't remember Big Dan. Yeah, Kuz today came out and gave me a nice endorsement. So shout out to Kuz. I'd like to get on his show. I know he mentioned that earlier today. I was on his show one other time, and I would love to do something with Kuz soon. I think it'd be a lot of fun. So that'd be great. So shout out to him. Real quick, let's just look at here. So yeah, Amit, real quick. I think before we get off here, this is a crossroads for West Virginia. These next 2 games. Let's face it. It's been a little bit of a disappointing season, and maybe that's not fair because it's a first-year coach with 15 new players, and we look at last year's roster and what Javon Small did and carry the team, and expectations might have been a little bit too harsh, right? But this team has shown that they can compete. Look at the losses to Clemson and Xavier this year, and they smoked Pitt, and they lost to Ohio State in overtime. Like there's winnable games.
Yeah.
Can you get a win? Can you right the ship tomorrow, get a win at home versus a team that's going to be banged up a little bit tomorrow? That's step 1. Then you see Kansas, who's obviously ranked 22nd, but guys, we always play Kansas tough at home. Whoever the coach has been. I think Josh Eilert beat Kansas at home. Remember the one West Virginia basketball team a few years ago was absolutely god-awful, and they beat Kansas at home, who was highly ranked. For whatever reason, we get up for the Kansas game as a fan base. So can we get a win tomorrow versus Cincinnati, take that momentum into Saturday, and then you would start the conference 2-1? 2-1, and then if you lose to Houston 2-2, I mean, it's there for the taking, but you can't do that unless you win tomorrow's game.
Absolutely. And this is, like you said, I mean, we've had success against Kansas, especially at home. I mean, last year is the first year they beat them on the road, but there's been years where they've had their number at home. I remember even when we were in school, remember Andrew Wiggins when he was at Kansas, and we weren't that good around that time, but beat them. I remember that, at home. So they've had success, and this is not the Kansas team that's been, that dominant force. Honestly, they're beatable. In recent years, they do have a freshman who's really, really good. He's going to probably go number 1 or number 2 in the draft, and Darren Peterson. He's extremely talented player, but this is not that Kansas team that's, you're scared to play, to be honest. They're beatable. They just lost to UCF the other day. So it's one of those Kansas teams that, you can beat them at home.
And I have another one that said 3 sets of brothers is crazy. Yeah, that is absolutely absolutely nuts. Yeah, friendly reminder to like and subscribe to the show. Another comment here. I appreciate the show, brother. Keep up the good work. My head is tired. I'll finish the replay and hype. Yeah, we're pretty much done here too, man. I got to go to bed. I got to teach 21 fourth graders tomorrow. We've been on here for 40 minutes. Appreciate you guys. Appreciate it. Any last words?
No, man, I think it's just a lot of fun right now, a lot of craziness, but excited for what's to come in the portal. The game tomorrow, and then the college football playoff semis Thursday and Friday, and then we have the NFL also over the weekend. So a lot of fun,
Yeah, I think Amit, you're going to be back tomorrow possibly for the recap video. Hopefully, have some more recruiting news. We'll do another one Wednesday, college football playoff preview, and have some recruiting news hopefully, and then. Who knows after that? I always say I'm going to give myself a break, but then we get a new recruit, and I'm like, I got to make a video. So, all right, guys. Appreciate you guys. Have a great rest of the night with your families. Let's go Mountaineers. We'll talk to you guys next time.